Create. A word we hear almost every day. Our culture constantly encourages each of us to create. The products of this word are all around us. But what does it really mean? By definition, it means to bring into being. But that was just how one man defined it. What happens if that definition becomes personal? I'm going on a search to discover people's own definitions and find out what it really means to create. Where did this scene come from?
Oh, is it on?
Yes.
Oh. When I was creating this picture, I pictured a really thin metal wire hanging across a wall. And the wire represents the delicacy of life since it's so thin and fragile. And then on the wire, there are two people hanging, and they're hanging on by a clip. And those clips are representing the way we hang on to our life and the way we are attached to it. And one of the clips says the word dead on it, where there are dead pigs and a man hanging who's carrying the dead pigs. So he's like carrying the dead from life. Yeah.
Creation allows depth to be spoken out of the ordinary. What does the word create mean to you?
Create is typically defined as making something and making something that you can see. But I think that even though you make something, there's so many different things like color and picture and even word, and you create it to be something that everyone looks at, it's also something that makes the person think, and it makes the person looking at your artwork contemplate what the artist actually meant and the depth behind the picture.
Creation tells a story. Like Ellie, artists all over the planet are building up worlds out of pure imagination and bringing them to life to speak when words cannot. These works of art not only describe the creations of the artist's minds, but have the power to express the emotions and themes that tie the world together. Creation is powerful, but is art the only creation? It's easy to see creation in the artistic masterpieces that scream creativity. But how do you see creation in everyday objects? How do you see creativity and art in everyday things?
I think that even everything around you that you see is something that had to be at some point created, and someone had to have the vision to come up with it and then actually, make it and bring it into life.
Creation is hidden in the seemingly ordinary. So creation can be found in art and in everyday objects. But what about the one place that seems to suck the very soul of creativity out of people? High school. How do you find opportunities to create in school?
So, ways for students to be creative. Well, at our private school, we have a variety of ways. We have an excellent art department. We have a wonderful performing arts department, a great musical department. Ways that students can express themselves.
Life is full of opportunity to always create. You can create sticks in the mud. You can make mud pies. You can draw chalk on sidewalks. You can create signs for football teams and cheerleaders.
We can encourage creative writing and personal narratives, things like that.
You can even use a toothbrush to draw with or to paint with. So you can always find ways to be creative.
Creation is inspired. I have discovered that creation is the inspired expression of oneself through vastly varied mediums, from writing to art to everyday objects. But I have one last stop on my quest to define creation to dig a little deeper into a different aspect of creation.
Genesis 1:1, it's very, like I said, it's just a quick sentence. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Okay, so you just get a video of that thing on
Yeah.
the deal? Okay.
Yeah.
you start out with the separation of water and land, of light and darkness. So God is separating all these things. The end result of that creative process is an orderly, beautiful creation, which I think is a great picture of salvation. He takes our lives, which are in disarray and disorder, and he gives us order.
Okay, and how do you see evidence of creation in every day?
I was watching yesterday, strangely, I was watching a video. Do you remember that when Danny was walking through the woods at night going home from Grandma's, and something hit him in the head? Well, the suspicion was that it was an owl. Anyway, there happened to be a nature video on barn owls, and the way in which God's created them to actually fly in silent mode, and so that their wings have, on the front part of their feathers and on the trailing part of their feathers, they have literally a design that silences the sound, so that these owls can actually swoop down on their victims and not even be detected. So it just seems like everywhere you look in creation, you see God uniquely fashioning an animal for its environment, whether it blends in or whatever it does. But in some very unique ways, God provides for that a creature to exist and to thrive because of the way he's uniquely designed it.
Creation is evidence of a creator. It turns out that creation is a word that envelops the very fibers of our being. From the sunsets that paint the sky into a different masterpiece every night, to the strands of colors in our eyes. Everything links back to a common creator, more powerful and original than anything we have ever known. Everything is creation. And this is my creation.